Last orders at the bar, please.
Welcome to Tavern Tales, a curated 5e Dungeons & Dragons adventure set in the tales of the Yawning Portal campaign module by Wizards of the Coast. Previously on Tavern Tales. Kinichaja has besought Maryland and Florida for help. With their agreement, we move forward to find a statue dedicated to Alabama?
Come sit down and drink with the enemy, raise a glass and toast to the enemy, and I'm not gonna do this on my own. So come sit down and laugh with the enemy, raise a glass and sing to the enemy, and I'm not gonna do this on my own. So I won't end up being alone, 'cause I won't drink my drink alone. So what about you? One beer or two, I'll drink to you.
It was a right nice sword in the hands of old Maryland Jane as she stood there, swishing it back and forth in the air, making it sing as it cut. A wooden sword with obsidian teeth. Maryland finally smiled, giving such an interesting blade a name, and deciding to introduce it to the party, saying nothing. 'Cause the player who plays Maryland isn't here today. So let's instead just peek into the adventure itself as we enter a new room, the sounds of running water and the occasional rodent-like skitter happening ahead. And to kick things off, let me read to you the description. The doors to this room are made of bronze and are tinted blue from oxidation. Just inside the doorway are two small alcoves. As you peer in, you can see each space contains an old fountain, cracked and crusted with lime. Around the fountain, to your right, I literally had to take the map, turn it to the thing to give you perspective, right? Like now you can picture yourself going through a pair of double doors and you look to the right, there's a fountain, left the fountain. The fountain on the right-hand side has a heap of rubbish littering the floor, and the fountain in the west alcove holds some green, scummy water in which something moves. A short hall ends in descending steps that'll lead to a central chamber, and that is flooded, and you can hear the plop and splosh of water therein. A dark, foul pool covers the entire floor. A central hall, flanked by narrow aisles, is defined by 2 rows of massive square columns, and the walls, of course, are all coated with slime, and there are glowing silver lines etched across them. From what you can see of the chamber's walls, the stone appears to be crudely worked. 2 corroded bronze braziers stand in the pool, and towards the middle of the room 2 broken urns, each apparently once about 4 feet tall, poke up out of the water. In the darkness on the eastern wall appears to be an enormous growth of overall greenish hue that gives off the same silvery gleam as the slime trails. So, what's up? Behind you, a statue of Alabama Johnson. Yep. Lies broken upon the floor.
He's broken? We broke it?
Yeah, I remember
totally
you guys climbed up and
it came smashing
I
down.
forgot.
Came
It came down
tumbling
because it's
down.
top heavy. Yeah, we wrecked it. I forgot about that.
We all saw that coming, except for the people who climbed it.
Yeah.
Oops. Well, I saw something over there, moving. I think we should check it out.
Sure, I guess we can go take a look at whatever seems to be drawing you to that pool there.
Yeah. The eastern fountain here has a small amount of concentrated lime that you can see around the edge. You'll want to stay away from it after having experienced that lime so much before. The water in the pool, though, looks cloudy, but the green stuff on the top is like scum algae sort of thing. You can see some movement happening underneath that algae.
As Alabama sees the movement, he's going to walk a little bit closer and he's going to go, "Here, fishy, fishy, fishy."
Okay.
You're special.
I like them animals, all right.
Nothing seems to happen, but you can make a perception check for those of you who go over to that altar.
I'm going to go over.
Yeah, I'm coming too.
I guess it's more of an alcove than an altar.
No.
Is there a place to sit in the alcove?
There is absolutely a place to sit. Picture the fountain has like a bench that you can sit on with the pool of water inside. Hey, there's a small statue that stands out of the fountain. What does that look like, Aaron?
It is a woman holding a giant jug over her one shoulder, and that's where the water's coming out of the fountain.
There's no water pouring there anymore, but that's where the water would come from. Perfect. Yeah, I like it.
Can I detect magic in the water?
Can
Try
you?
that? May I?
May you? Are you casting
I
the
would like
spell,
to
Detect
cast-
Magic?
Yeah.
It's a pretty high level spell to be casting, just to detect water, magic water.
I'm going to sit on the edge of the fountain where the benchy area is. And I'm going to, start to hand wash my hands in the water.
It's covered in an icky green algae scum, and there's a whole bunch of concentrated lime around the edge of this fountain.
Damn it.
So you need to be very careful. I'm glad, you could easily go sit in a non-algae, non-limey area, but the water is definitely very, very...
I look in
Scuzzy.
disappointed.
Okay. How'd you do in your perception check?
I got a 4.
That is not enough. Anybody else roll a perception check in the alcove area?
I will.
If you're
Since I'm sitting there.
really close, you can make with advantage.
I'm going to perceive things as well.
No,
Cool.
I'm too enraptured by the sitting.
What was your total?
12.
Okay, that's not that you were too enraptured.
16?
16 and the 12 are both more than good. What is Texas Walker doing right now if he is not making a perception check as well?
He's just kind of observing the room.
Okay.
So it's-
Make a
what's
perception check
Okay.
about the room, not about the specific alcove. While you're doing that, the two of you have succeeded, and you hear some croaking that is happening near the fountain itself.
Frogs?
Most likely.
We can eat them.
Ooh, hopefully they're not too slimy.
Here, froggy, 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 froggy.
Hey, I was trying to call whatever was in that pond first. And you aren't eating no creature that's in that pond. It is a living thing and it deserves to be so.
You have a weird philosophy.
Yeah. Poor little
How did you
frog.
do checking out the entire area?
10 total.
Yeah, nothing special. It's dark. Maryland says something along the lines of, I have to be over here for like an hour making the sword, my friend. So I will be over here doing that.
Uncanny.
That's like spot on.
I listen to your voices often enough that I'm figuring out your cadences.
That's pretty good.
But that was the Maryland is like easy to channel, like goth teenager.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Do I see where the frogs are?
You did not get the semblance as to where you can figure out where the frogs are, but there seems to be more than one. You can make a nature check if you'd like, if you have nature. If you're
Yeah, that's not a
skilled in
thing I do.
nature, now that people are talking about frogs, anybody skilled with nature may make a nature check. Go ahead.
I'm kind of invested in these frogs now. Ugh.
I guess you're not
that
that
not
invested. Nope, know nothing about no frogs.
Don't know nothing about no frogs.
I'm not skilled.
Cool. You can spend a blue gem if you'd like to, and roll.
With advantage?
No,
No,
just you'd get
normal.
to roll. And I give you proficiency on the check. But you have to tell me what you know about frogs. Not what you know. How you know these things about frogs.
So, during Alabama and Arizona's first date, he took her to a lagoon where, a lagoon. Get over it. Got dirty looks from one side of the table. He took her to a lagoon where they had a cute little boat and they were out in the middle of the lagoon on this boat. Exactly. Yeah.
Don't be shy.
Anyways,
That's the seagull, thank you.
which they didn't have in Little Mermaid Live. Thank you.
I know, right?
So they're on this boat in this
They
lagoon.
didn't have the frogs either, so I was
No.
like ridiculously disappointed at the lack of cohesive unit.
But in
unity for
this
that song.
story,
Anyway.
there is frogs.
Wow.
And so they're in this
You
boat.
took them, didn't you?
They're in this boat in the lagoon, and these frogs start jumping over their boat. And then Arizona's like, oh my goodness, the frogs. And then she starts going on about how she's a frog
Fan?
Enthusiast?
enthusiast.
Frogophile?
And she knows every single
She speaks Quebec.
possible detail on frogs, every type of frogs, everything. And Alabama sat there for probably 3 hours listening to Arizona go on about how she loves frogs.
Thank you. Make your check.
Thank you.
How well did Alabama remember?
Okay.
For everyone at home, please explain why you were laughing. It is because Paige rolled the dice, it fell off the table into her lap, and showed a 1 or something?
No, that's pretty good.
Oh, and then you picked up the die while laughing and rolled it back on the dice and get a 16.
Yeah.
So 16 plus the 3 for proficiency.
21.
What?
What?
Nope, that's a lie. That's a dirty lie.
16 plus 3 is not 21.
Yeah, so you're 21 total
Yeah,
if you're
21
plus 2.
total.
Yeah, good job.
That's right.
Okay.
Fuck you.
Okay.
I mean, screw you. Can I say either of those?
You can say both.
All of the things.
What is happening right now?
That is the sound of the northwestern Troy frog.
I would like to make one my friend and have it be my companion on my shoulder for
Sure.
the game.
You can kind of sense that the swimming around inside the scuzzy water is a bunch of tadpoles that are swimming about. And that this is a mated brood pair of bullfrogs.
You guys were going to eat one of them?
No one eats tadpoles, eat the frogs.
I hate to be the first person to explain this to you, but
The circle of life.
we only live in this world by consuming other things that live in it.
But those are the tadpoles' parents.
I don't get you.
Tadpoles are fine without their parents. They don't care.
Florida man drops wisdom, breaks flagstone.
Are you a vegetarian?
Selective.
You just don't like to actually have to kill it yourself to eat it.
Yes, ma'am.
You don't want to actually know all of the effort and suffering that goes into the food that you eat so conveniently.
No, ma'am.
All right. So you're some sort of hypocritical person.
Whoa, ma'am. I'm not going to eat one of these itty bitty tiny frog parents of these little itty bitty tiny tadpoles.
But you'll eat the cow that obviously has a child somewhere, or the chicken that potentially has.
Does it have a child somewhere?
You don't know.
You don't know. Exactly, but I can see these little children's running around in their little swimming pool with their little green stuff.
So ignorance breeds morality.
I don't know how to deal with this.
This show just got deep, everybody.
I don't know where to go.
So, Tex, in the other alcove,
Thanks.
there is a similar fountain, but it is a different figure. Marie Claire, what is this different figure?
It's like a little angel boy, a little cherubim.
Cool. Where does the water come from?
He's spitting it out of his mouth.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to do the Austin
I didn't want
Powers
it.
thing.
I didn't want him to be peeing. It's fine.
Once again, it seems like there is a bunch of concentrated lime around and out this fountain itself. The water is, of course, not flowing at all. However, the water is just cloudy, and behind it is a pile of rubbish.
I'm going to look through the rubbish if I can get around it.
Sure, you can head over to root in the pile of rubbish. Please roll a d20.
3.
Ooh. Please add your dexterity modifier to that.
That would be 7 total.
Everyone else make a quick perception check.
Ooh, I perceive things.
I will not impose disadvantage on the two of you for your fight, but during the argument about meat and its proper consumption for the type of meat that it is, the pile of rubbish springs forth and tries to consume Texas Walker.
Aw.
Because it is, in fact, a swarm of rats that are hiding under a big pile of rubbish. So a bundle of rats suddenly swarm and climb all over you with the intent to devour you whole. Or I guess like in little bite. Just devour you.
I got it.
It's a swarm of rats. How are they going to devour them whole? Like, they don't have a big enough mouth to, like, the teeny tiny little, sharp little. Anyway,
That's sharp.
that's neither here nor there. You have failed your check, so they have surprise on you. Everyone, roll initiative. And what did we,
Perception first, right?
Perception first. So if you beat a 12 on perception, then you will act in the first round. So now you'll all roll initiative and you can tell me how you did.
I'm just going to fireball the rats.
I'm there. Don't fireball
Duck.
me.
Okay, how did we do, Tex?
17.
How did we do, Florida Man?
7.
How did we do, Penny?
1. I go last.
How'd you get a 1?
I rolled a 1.
What's your-
I have to add things.
Yep. How'd you do, Al?
4.
Oh, you me twinsies.
Yeah, you best duck.
Oh, shit.
He's going to die in a ball of fiery rats. That's his future.
Get a new sheet ready.
Suddenly,
After everything we've been through, rats take us out. Can you imagine?
a giant beam of light shines down. Suddenly, Paylor shows up, and Yashiria rolls into town.
Heroes never die.
Yeah.
No, what was your barbarian you played?
Unky B.
Yeah, you should bring him. I like him. No?
Different world.
We should have an
Okay.
all-stars game where all the favorite
Yeah,
characters.
that will be the last game. There'll be Tomb of Horrors.
Ooh.
Okay, so the swarm of rats goes first with surprise, and then they will go first at the top of the order because their initiative modifier is a 20 total. So they will attack. And remember, this is a swarm. And the last time you all dealt with a swarm, you found there was something that really worked and something that didn't work when you were fighting a swarm. The last time you were fighting a swarm was the mob of people when you were protecting the drow. And remember what happened whenever you hit them with swords and shovels and axes and arrows? It was only technically doing half damage because they're resistance, because it's a whole bunch of rats. So killing one rat at a time isn't really sufficient. You're only basically hurting a little bit of it. So that's why your damage from your sword axes and your piercing rapiers and whatnot only do a little bit of damage. You need to do magical attacks that do bunches of damage that'll help. Okay? All right, here we go. The rats are attacking Tex. They're going to swarm all over you and strike you with their bites. And they have a 17 to hit.
That hits.
Then they do a total of 7 piercing damage to you. And then on the next one, they miss. A swarm of rats fails to gain purchase against you. Now it is your turn, Tex, followed by Florida Man.
All right, cool. And am I grappled at all?
No, they're just all over you in the space, your space as well. They're basically, you're standing there, maybe they knocked you down or whatever, and there's a swarm of rats crawling all over you, biting you and whatnot.
Would I be able to grab one of them and just kind of heave it into the limey water so that it kind of like burns to death?
Sure, you'll just basically be doing bashing damage to a rat.
Okay, I guess I will do that.
Go ahead.
And is that straight strength?
Just an attack, yeah. Or dexterity to grab one, sure.
Sure, let's do that. And I just add my dex modifier.
Yeah, sure, just to grab something. Why not?
That's a 23.
More than enough. They only have a 10, so did enough.
Okay.
There you go. You grab a rat and you throw it into the pool. Roll a d4.
4.
Cool. So rather than say you grabbed a rat, let's say you swept an arm out and tried to bash a hole and you plunged a whole bunch of rats into the fountain. Didn't really do much, but that is your turn. We have now moved on. It is Florida Man's turn, followed by Penny or Al. I think in this instance, it would be Penny, because she has a higher dex modifier.
Okay.
Okay, Florida Man, what would you like to do?
I'm sorry, I have nothing that's like super good against swarms, so I'll just fight while I try to figure out what's a better way to deal with this.
Sure.
I mean, I do have 2 attacks, but that's still like only... Yeah, I have nothing that's big. Okay, I'm going to do 2 attacks. Okay, one is a 24 and one is a 10.
The 10 hits, and so therefore does the 24. So while you roll some damage up, describe for me what you're doing.
I'm like using the flat of my blade to like swat at them.
Sure. They are all over Texas who's laying on the ground. So you're just using the flat of your blade to swipe them off?
Yeah.
Sure.
Do I have to make any saves? No. Okay.
16 total.
What was each?
8 each.
Cool. Awesome. Moving on now to Penny, followed by Alabama.
Bardic Inspiration.
You're using a bonus action to award Bardic Inspiration to someone at the table.
Can I do everybody?
May use Bardic Inspiration with a bonus action to give a d8 to one person.
Do you want it, Paige? Do you need extra things? It's the eye of the rat swarm. It's the thrill of the fight. Rising up to the challenge of our rivals. And the last known survivor
Is Alabama Johnson.
Yeah.
Insert name here and you'll win.
Eye of the rat swarm.
Cool.
You feel inspired.
Your bonus action has been passed, and what would you like to do with your regular action?
The only good thing I have is Thunder Wave, but I think it might really, really hurt you. So it's either I heal you or I hit you with a Thunder Wave.
And doesn't Thunderwave knock me back?
Yeah.
So I could get knocked into the pool and die.
Yeah.
How many hit points do you have?
31.
You're fine.
You're fine. I'm going to Thunder Wave you.
All right.
I really-
Thunder Wave. Dash forward, stand right in front of Texas Walker, and you cast Thunder Wave. Do you turn and point your derriere, or do you...
I start banging on my thighs, making like a rhythmic drum beat, which doesn't really translate over here, but everyone can imagine. And I start going, ha ha ha, wipe out! And do
nice.
a drum solo on my legs. And I'm really, really into it.
The drum solo.
Yeah, because
Cool.
that's all Wipeout's about. It's about that drum part. Do 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 do. Right?
It's not with drums. That's
That's
a
the drum solo in there.
bass solo.
It's drums. That's all in the toms. I'll play a recording later. You'll remember.
Sure.
It's really about the drums.
All right.
So I do that, and I make a thunder wave.
Yes. Perfect. It's a dexterity saving throw or a...
Constitution. So on a fail, he takes 2d8, and so does the swarm.
Yep.
And push back 10 feet. On a success, they don't get pushed back.
Oh,
And they
I
take
failed. Texas also failed.
Oh, what's the DC?
What did you roll?
11.
Yeah, no, the DC's higher than 11. It's 8 plus the proficiency bonus plus her charisma bonus. So I'm going to guess that it's 13.
Oh, spell DC is 14. So
There you go, see?
Thank you. So here's the damage. 6.
All right.
You're fine.
And then am I knocked back?
Yeah, knocked back 10 feet. Not like you can really go anywhere. You're thrown up against a wall by the power of the wipeout.
Wipeout!
Most of the rats are dead and gone.
You're welcome.
Still half of a swarm left, though. So please, what would you like to do? Alabama Johnson.
Maybe not enough for excessive fireball.
Please.
Whatever you want to do is fine by me.
I'm pretty sure I'll kill Tex. with
Also, remember
fireball.
the poisonous gas that is all around us.
No, we're not taking damage from that anymore.
But
I am.
blows up things.
Oh, God.
Kaboom.
Paige is totally going to TPK us.
What do you want to do? There's no way you can throw out a fireball and not hit yourself, given the radius of the fireball. Even if you put it in the corner, you're still too close. You'll take the brunt of edge of the fireball as well. And take a ton of damage.
But it'd be funny and super dramatic.
It would.
Then do it.
No denying there.
Alabama really doesn't like rats.
Apparently.
Just do it.
I don't either.
Rats.
I am going to use Scorching Ray.
Oh, perfect. That's still a high level spell. So yeah, with the entirety of the Scorch. The cool thing about Scorching Ray is you can target different things with each of the rays. You target all the same individual. Or I could be like you, and you, and Scorching
That
Ray.
is cool.
I'm going to say not to saving throw because it doesn't say that.
Cool. Then you make your checks. 3 of them.
I don't think I've ever used this one.
I know.
It's cool though. Ooh. Except for one crit.
Well, that one misses because that's a 1.
And then 11 and 14.
Definitely hit. The armor class is only 10 for this creature. Oh, so the 1 may hit Texas.
Because it's a miss.
No, it's a miss by more than 5 and the swarm's all over Texas. So I'm going to say it hits Texas. Just because I want to. First one.
3.
Yep.
Ooh, 7.
With the second one, you have destroyed all of the rats. They all die and whatnot. And the third one hits Texas where?
Fuck, here we go. Watch. 12.
Can I roll first and then tell you where it hits?
Sure.
Oh no! What? No!
Oh, that was so good. 10.
Yes. Because it hits him.
Right in the junk. Well, the rats were a lot lower, so I was going towards a lower focus point.
This junk is on fire!
He sings that with that falsetto because it hurt.
I think a guy can die from that kind of injury.
Yeah.
I'm getting there. Don't worry.
We'll heal. You'll get healed up. It's okay.
I rolled 10 damage.
It's just your standard vasectomy. It's fine.
Yeah, apparently.
Usually they, give me some sort of pain reliever.
Whoops. Oh, that was weird.
Whoops. That's your...
So Tommy.
Oh, I did the boom boom.
Okay. Well, looks like I'm never going to be an uncle after this.
Tex is just staring blankly because he's been hit with a scorching ray and the...
Hey, at least the injury was cauterized.
Is he not trying to put out the fire?
It ignites
shit.
everything.
Oh, your nuts are on fire?
Yes. Do I have to do it?
No, just put it out. It's fine. Stop, drop it off. Jump into the freaking fountain.
No, I'm already taking 23 damage.
Jump in the fountain.
What if there's acid?
Roasting nuts over an open fire.
Okay, Tex is gonna jump.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Tex is gonna jump in the fountain.
Excellent. I love
The
it.
flames.
Here.
Aw. I'm sorry your nuts are on fire. I just knocked you back. That's all I did. I didn't light your nuts on fire.
You may have a white gem for leaping into the
You
fountain.
should get that looked at. I think they have medication for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
Only your wife would do that to you, honestly.
True.
I mean, it was a 10.
As you're putting yourself out in the fountain, your foot clanks on something in the fountain itself.
Clank.
But you said the fountain's all cloudy, right? So I can't
Yeah.
see what it is.
Yeah. I mean, kind of can make out as you're washing off your manly bits.
So much milk out of your nose.
Are you okay?
Do you need a Kleenex?
Oh my.
All the coffee creamers coming out her nose.
The eggnog. It's eggnog. It's gonna stink because it's got the spices in it.
Wow.
This is the best texture. Once again, Merry Christmas, everybody. You're gonna kill her. She's gonna die. Her eyes are like beet red
She said that's how she wants to go, laughing.
with eggnog in her nostrils.
It was a lovely moment, captured for all time.
We'll stop and get a neti pot on the way home so you can just kind
A
of...
nutty pot?
So it doesn't get
Yeah.
infected.
I'm sure you're fine.
Oh.
You still like eggnog?
Hit the back of my throat.
Yeah, it's all up in your sinuses.
You're gonna be phlegmy for a little bit.
So Tex is going to reach down and try and grab
Sure.
the
Yeah,
thing.
you can grab a chain and weight it to something heavy. You pull it free, and all the water everywhere. No, it's a plug.
I'm going to get sucked into this thing.
No, it's actually an amulet made out of tarnished brass, and you can see an engraving in Olman upon the amulet itself. Do you happen to read Olman?
I can speak it, so yes.
How is it that Tex knows Olman? It seems like a weird thing for this Shadar Kai weirdo.
So in his travels with all the Shadar Kai stuff, he saw it in a old-timey bookstore kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Mordenkainen's Tome of Olman.
Hey there, you look like a type of person who wants to read and learn Olman, eh?
Yes.
Is this an old-timey bookstore? Step right up, step right up.
So
Books galore.
he bought the book and he read it.
Sucker. No one speaks Olman. It's a dead language, see? So, yes, okay, fine, cool. In his spare time, in his travels, he learned Olman. And as a result, you learned that the engraving says Lord of Snails.
Ooh.
They're snails. There shouldn't be so much scum. They should be eating all of it. Where are the snails?
Are we going to fight a giant snail?
Oop, can we please? We'll just get lots of salt.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
Who's going to get assaulted?
You guys are hilarious.
Tex then proceeds to get out of the fountain after
Perfect.
collecting the amulet.
Yes, you get out of the fountain, and there's fire everywhere now, folks. You can see very clearly everything from Paige's sinuses all the way down into this vast expanse of a room. Now, the room stretches... So I'll put it this way. There's a little alcove with a wall, and there's a fountain in it on either side of the walkway, right? And then the walkway has some steps that lead down to a pool that probably was once like a big chamber, a big like presentation chamber or whatnot. And that chamber is
For a giant snail.
Ooh.
about 80 feet long. So it stretches quite a distance. You can't see or make out the distance. But there is, in the middle of the pool, 2 broken urns that are poking up out of the water. And those urns are about 4 feet tall and they're broken. And just in front of you, just at the bottom of the steps, 2 braziers, bronze corroded braziers. So it looks like they would hold a torch or something. They stand up out of the pool as well. So the steps lead down, and all of that is flooded water everywhere. You think that the steps lead down and maybe just a couple inches of water, or the steps may go down quite some ways. But if they do, those things that are standing up out of the water, they would have to be very, very tall if the water was really deep.
So, sorry, with the urns, we see 4 feet of it, so they are 4 feet tall, or we see the 4 feet of them?
You see 4 feet of them.
Okay, so they're bigger than that.
Well, the urns themselves are 4 feet, and they're standing on a pedestal, just out of the water.
Okay.
You don't know how tall that comes up off the ground.
Okay.
And then the roof above you is only 20 feet above you. So you can look up, see the roof is there. It's dark as everything, but there are silvery lines traced on the walls themselves around you. And that is what you see as you stand on the steps leading down to this next section. It does not appear like there's any other path forward than to wade through this water to get to what may be a door on the other side. But there are no doors to the left or to the right at all that you can see.
And sing with the enemy, and I'm not gonna do this on my own. And raise a glass and toast to the enemy, raise a glass and sing to the enemy, and I'm not gonna do this on my own.
This concludes this episode of Tavern Tales, a curated Dungeons & Dragons 5e game set in the Tales of the Yawning Portal adventure module by Wizards of the Coast. Our intro and outro music is the song Tavern Tales by the Bad Billy Band. You can find out more about the Bad Billy Band on iTunes or at www.badbillyband.com, or follow them on Twitter at badbillyband. Thanks for listening. Please feel free to leave us a review on iTunes or find us on Twitter at tavern_tales. We'll be back next week with more of the adventure.
Had to be logical.
It was good.
Shut up.
I liked it.
This happened a long time ago. It's done.
The
What?
circle.
She
of-
really wanted to fight the vampire.
Circle of no fun.
We would have died, though. At least one of us.
I like creative ways of solving problems that don't necessarily involve fighting. I'm not against fighting, but
Is this you
Fighting-
or Florida Man? A little bit both.
I mean, it would be
Florida man only likes fighting when he's drunk.
surprising. Florida Man is actually a pacifist. The more you know.